Welcome back, everyone. We are here with the Star Wars CCG graded update for June of 2025. I can't believe here we are. We've been doing this for a little while now, JP.
I know.
Another season here of Star Wars CCG graded, and man, lots of interesting things happening within the group and throughout the community. We're going to cover a bunch of different things here. We'll go through the contest for May, the upcoming contest for June. We'll talk about some group updates, some of the graded PSA stuff, updates with that. And then we'll also hear about your show and all that. So we'll finish with all that. Let's start off with the contest here. Do you want to tell us about Lowball first, JP?
Yeah, Lowball, we had three different people, of course, submit for that. Benjamin Cantor also had a pretty good, gave me a run for my money of my my PSA 10, PSA 9 Lowball. But inevitably, Paul Hubbard came through with his Space Slug PSA 7 and Japanese Infantry Mine PSA 6, taking the cake on that one too. So good job, Paul. What was the prize for Lowball?
Yep. Premier Unlimited Sealed Pack. So we'll be sending that to him in the mail. Congrats, Paul. Unique. Wow. I think we might have to stop and take a break on this one. Cole Duncan just kind of ran away with this. Very interesting. PSA miscut 8s of Stormtrooper backpack and Imperial reinforcements with the Stormtrooper backpack right edge pretty much completely like void of the black line, even part of the picture even. And then the Imperial reinforcements taking all the black on the border and maybe just a sliver of the picture of the backpack. How did he even come across that? I don't even know, much less to be able to bring those to grading and then put it in the notes that, like, these are related. Please note that these are...
They're right next to each other on the sheet, too.
Yeah.
So they're cut. So these are matched. These go together on the sheet. So talk about a unique find, grade, everything. Man, it's one of the best uniques I've seen ever. So good job, Cole. That was great.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And Cole, you'll be getting a New Hope limited sealed pack, so we'll be sending that to you. And top, not really close. We kind of had a big flex from Brian Emery. Did we not?
I mean, it's good. This is what it's all about. I mean, we saw the Cole Duncan stuff. We're here to showcase your cards. And we know your guys' collections go deep. And Brian Emery did show us how deep his collection goes. So great job on the top pair. He had the double Wampa. So regular Wampa PSA 10 and then the Japanese Wampa PSA 9, which hard all in itself. So great showing. He gets the
Hawk revised pack. Yep. In the spirit of Wampas, maybe he'll pull another one.
Yeah.
Maybe another white border Wampa. Who knows?
Great job, guys. It was a good competition this month.
Yeah. Congrats on that. All three of you. Good submissions there. For June, we have promo cards, mail-in cards not part of regular sets. So these could be part of anthologies or enhanced Jedi packs, revised card, right? Like the
Gold Leader and Gold One,
Gold Leader, Rebel Leader, yeah, all that kind of stuff. The non-traditional stuff is up and running right now, and we will have prizes for those of unspeakable value, but we will share that when we get there. Okay, so group updates. We're at 954 members, JP.
Yep, we've moved the needle a little bit. We're still getting closer to 1,000. And just prior to us starting the stream, we just kind of talked about some of the things we'll probably be doing when we hit 1,000. So there's going to be some gifts that are going to be given out. We've already put some stuff back. It's going to be a little bit of a celebration and to honor all the members and how far we've come since the beginning. So we're slowly getting there, but we're going to get there. 554 as of 10 minutes ago. So
yeah, I know numerous members have talked about doing different things at the 1,000, either putting up special items for sale, doing some more rips, giveaways, all different kinds of things will probably be happening. It'll probably be like its own little May May the 4th sort of celebration in our world. So stay tuned for that, and tell your friends if they like graded Star Wars cards, come join the group. It's a good community. It's very active. Whereas some groups are like you join and then you kind of hear a little bit there, whatever. It doesn't really have much going on. This is a very active group, very engaged group. So
it is. I mean, all of the metrics that I get always show there's a lot of communication, a lot of engagement by new members, a lot of people helping each other. You guys are still showcasing your returns and your submissions, and we're always talking about the grading services. So it's lots of good information, and everyone's good to each other. So that's all we ever wanted. So it's been a good group. Good job.
Yeah, good stuff. So around the horn, I was very excited on May 27th that PSA finally updated some of those registry sets that I'd asked for back in September. They finally answered that call. I had only requested 6 sets at the time because I didn't want to be greedy. 1, 2, I assumed other people were sending in their own things. When we kind of made that initial announcement last fall, I don't remember if you submitted anything. I think you did put in some requests, but that tells me they're not completely going into a black hole. If they did get to this, they just truly are so backed up, and they have a bunch of sloths working in a DMV style environment where nothing really gets done in a timely manner. I don't really know what's going on. I don't understand how in the age of AI and all this work efficiency stuff that we can't manage to get lists from card sets and thrown up there. I really don't. It blows my mind. I don't know any company that is this backed up like anything. Frankly, I don't have a comparable answer. So
it's true. I mean, if you look at how fast the sports sets come out, they pretty much have all the vintage stuff already knocked out. Maybe there'll be 1 or 2 new ones every year, but you take like the WNBA is now super big and hot, and everybody's in it. I know they're putting out tons of sets right now, so just keeping up with WNBA is going to be hard, let alone all the other sports. All of our requests, and it's just not just sets. It's just not, hey, it's, Premiere and A New Hope. They have stuff out there. It's like everything Boba Fett, everything weapons. So they want to try to make everybody happy, but there's a million sets that have been requested that are just not straight mainstream checklist sets. So it's
and I get that. I think some of these obscure, requests that come in from like some baseball players with the letter Q from the 83 set. It's like, what is this? Like, that was not like a huge hit. Like, one person's looking for that. I don't see why they don't take modern sets, right? Like, they have the upcoming sets that are coming out from these companies. Like, they announce them. Like, you can see them like almost a year in advance, right? Like, sometimes the sets are delayed, but they'll tell you what sets are coming out. Then they usually provide like a card list, right? Like, that's well in advance of release, right? There's no reason why you can't just coordinate with Upper Deck, Tops, or whatever, and just be like, send me the card list in a file format that works. Excel, doc, PDF, I don't know. Scan it and then just throw it in and be done. Like, how is that difficult, right? We can. It blows my mind.
It's crazy.
Anyways, I hope that some more sets come out. I am very excited that at least my Japanese premiere set is up there, and we can compete on the anthology stuff, Jedi packs. These are low lifts, guys. I mean, there's only a few cards in these sets. Like,
they're fun.
It's a great jumping point into the registries because it's not daunting. So consider those. I also was very interested. We had a tag sale, right? That happened right at the end of the month, right?
Right.
First tag sale, it was a 9, I think. Tag is interesting. I think we talked about that 2 sessions ago, maybe 3 sessions ago.
Yeah, they're pretty. I mean,
they like give you that scanning code so you can see the notes and the card itself like highlighted. I like it in theory. It comes in this fancy wrapping. I feel like it should be worthy of maybe mains. I don't know if I'd do like a whole set of that, but maybe some high profile cards that could be really interesting. Especially where somebody's going to be like skeptical of a grading company or how they came to that grade, right? Like, really high profile card. Wouldn't that be great to be able to see exactly all the notes that they said about every aspect of that card? You'd be like, oh, like no contest here. Like,
Right.
you can see it, it's all right there. Makes sense. Hello, PSA. Knock, knock. Anyways, so there's no specials with PSA submissions this month. So CGC seems to be a growing popularity choice.
Yep.
Yeah.
And somebody keeps tracking that. They're tracking the progress of all the grading services, and they're posting it in our group.
Yeah, Cam has been sharing monthly updates, and CGC has been going on a big upswing, far surpassing out Beckett and SGC, which is very interesting when it comes to the non-sports cards growth, which kind of is a relatively newer category, right? Like if you think about it, so you have a totally different generation. Like you have a Gen Z kind of generation that's probably driving a lot of this change, where they're like, and I'm open to trying something new, right? And if enough of them do it, other people will be on board, right? Like my uncle, he's in his late 70s, mid 70s, I think. He collects vintage baseball cards. So he's got the 52 Bowmans, the 53 Bowmans, the 54, 55 Bowmans, like the entire team sets. Like some of them are, number 1 or number 2 in the PSA registry sets. Some of them he hasn't even loaded because he doesn't know how. Like he's just old. But I've been helping him out with that, so I'm hoping to keep doing that. But he had been doing PSA because that was just like the go-to forever, right, in that. But now he's like open to entertaining some of these other companies. He's like, oh, I really like the way the SGC slabs look in these. And I was like, there's actually a lot of other ones too. If you don't care as much about this, but really just want the like look and feel of the slab, there's a lot more options now. It's a different market. And I'm not saying like PSA is not going to be taken out, but it does open our eyes to, here's what slabs could be, right? They could be made stronger. They could be made differently. They could provide more information, like a tag, right? Like they could be more, they could be channel focused on certain categories. I don't know, but I think there's something to be said with listening to the complaints of the grading community and then trying to address them in a different way. So there's something for everybody. I'm sure you have thoughts on this too.
Well, of course, and I think a lot of it is price-driven as well. People want to get as much as possible, but the flipping factor is PSA usually rules the pricing, industry on that. So if it comes to a point where somebody's going to have the best pricing, I mean, SGC does it for $12 a card. That's pretty good. And I know CGC also has very good rates, is that people are going to just start seeing, I can get more bang for my buck, even though I probably won't get as much for it. So it is just supply and demand. It's, I'm starting to lean towards the cheaper ones. I used to get bulk rates from Beckett for $6 and $8 per 100.
And that makes sense. Like if you're going to do a set, like you should have some special bulk rates. And the fact that, PSA doesn't, and something like SGC is, much better price point, very appealing. When I have stacks and stacks of cards I want to grade, I just can't bear to swallow the pill that they're like $20 a card. Like that's just a lot. And I kept assuming that like, oh, it's going to go down in the summer or some special weight, but it hasn't. It's only crept up, which makes it even more brutal. And I know I'm not the only one feeling this pain, which I think is also helping to drive why there's less cards for sale, less cards in the market, less people are grading them at this crazy price point, and I don't blame them. I guess if I were to start a different set, like, another Japanese Premier Endeavor, like, I don't know if I'd do it the PSA route. I'd probably see if I could find a different set and try running with it with maybe a CGC or something and go deep with that. But I'm kind of in it now. I can't really stop now with that. But there's other sets that you could entertain that with, and I'd be totally fine with that. It's just crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, it is, and then you've got your guys out there, your Marks and your Serges that are just. They are still sitting on some spectacular great grades and good cards, but they're starting to go out in the wild. They're disappearing. I mean, we had our big Corellian Corvette 9 disappear into the wild, and the Imperial class Star Destroyer as well. So these are going to be harder and harder to see and find, and it's going to be tougher to find any grading company that's got these cards in great condition. So
yes, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Typically, summer is a slower time for all this activity, right? I was expecting kind of more people to focus on going outside, kind of like we saw last year. It was kind of a slower thought process, not as much going on, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. All right, let's get to the crux of really why we're here. I want to hear all about your show and your show experience. From what I understand, you have plenty to talk about there, so I'll let you finish off the segment with everything.
For sure. So I didn't know what to expect. I hadn't been to a card show in a little while, especially introducing Star Wars CCG. Me and my son, we had 3 tables running. This is the one that was in Kansas City that was put on by Gas Productions, I think they're called. 450 tables. It was the largest show in Kansas City this year. And I really, as soon as I got there and started setting up, people were starting to come around. I mean, other vendors, they're checking you out. A couple of the, early birds show up. And so I didn't get a chance till later in the day to actually go walk around and just discover that probably 250, 300 tables were all Pokemon.
So to be clear, this was a sports and non-sports, just trading card show,
right?
Regardless, right? There was no theme to this. Just if you have cards, it's okay.
And there's a show coming up this month here in Springfield that I usually attend. I've never been a vendor, and I'm finally a vendor. I'm going to try to be a perpetual vendor, but they have lots of non-sports cards there. There's a lot of people that come and do a lot of trading. I have on occasion seen some Star Wars CCG cards there, but never. I was never bringing my collection in there to sell. So this is going to be kind of a little different. We'll see how the Springfield area does compared to Kansas City. But I will tell you, slabbed sports cards were cleaned out multiple times. We went through our inventory about 2 or 3 times. And there's a company out there that's all they do is just buy slab cards, and they reseal and put them in packs and sell them back out to the public. So I was really kind of learning. But for the Star Wars side, lots and lots and lots of people stopped, talked to me. I didn't sell one slab. It was really surprising. I did sell around 100 singles, which is not what I was expecting, but there were kids, they dig out 5, 6 cards, and there's all kinds of cool pictures of Star Wars they're going to buy. Lots of stories about people remember playing the game, packing it up, or my mom selling it at a garage sale. And this one guy, he says he's got tens of thousands of them in monster boxes. He went into the military in early 2001 or 2, he said, put it in a storage unit, and then they would just move the storage unit. And he said a quarter of the storage unit was his Star Wars cards. And so he says, after seeing them in here and seeing what they're priced at and what they're going for, he says he's going to go there and dig them out that day. He was going to go that weekend and pull them out of storage and then start seeing what he's got in his collection. And a lot of these guys that I talked to, 5, 6 guys, I think they joined the group too. They were able to, I had papers out, flyers, Facebook information, and a couple of them joined right there on the spot. So it was a lot of fun. It was really interesting, and I learned a lot.
So when you were walking around, were you looking to buy other stuff yourself?
Yeah, so I even had buying Star Wars CCG cards. And again, I do sports cards, and I've been in it since '82. And so I was looking at the vintage cards, but there were barely anything there. It was mostly Pokemon and new modern sports stuff. So I was there. I was going to load up and buy any kind of Star Wars stuff I saw. I did sell a couple of 1977 top sets. Those went out in the wild. People that didn't last long. So there were other Star Wars stuff that sold as well too. But I didn't see very much Star Wars stuff there, and I just kind of wanted to be that constant table there. And if people were going to start getting interested in it and start grading it and all that, that we have a presence there. And I'm going to do that in Springfield. So, and I think there's another one in St. Louis I'm already committed to. And then there's 2 here in Springfield, one in at this Relics antique store, and another one that's at our expo center, which is monstrous.
So you got to take the seats out of the minivan and shove all the collections and boxes in the back. And
absolutely. Go be a traveling show. That's what I am, like a carnival.
I just remember, like, at the currency shows, especially, I mean, people would load these up. They're super heavy, they're large, cumbersome, but the value that they'd be carrying around is, like, insane. Like if you think about, like, all the collection, like, you have shoved into the car as you're traveling around, you're like, there's, like, 6 figures, like, easy in here. Like, it's just, like, it's nuts how some of these guys do all this stuff. It's cool that you're bringing it out to the world for people to see. I think just letting them know it exists is a piece of it. Because, again, we get stuck in kind of our bubble. I mean, here we're doing these on YouTube. Our group exists on Facebook, but there could be people that do this and don't operate on either, and may never, for whatever reason. So it is good to see this stuff out in the world in other places, right?
It did. I mean, even some of the younger kids, they're still kids. I mean, there's a lot of Pokemon there. They still do some Magic, and they're there for the non-sports stuff. So even seeing some of the Star Wars stuff, they come over and talked, and they had questions about it and wanted to understand it, and the artwork on it. It's from the movie, so I mean, it's not like cartoon pictures and just junk cards. They were commenting on the quality and just how cool they were. So there was a lot of interest from a lot of different directions. So this was my first show showing Star Wars stuff. So I think I'm just gonna keep doing it and then just keep updating, and then hopefully through this these videos.
So you have a set table at these 2 shows for sure, and maybe another.
Yeah, so I actually got another 3 more tables at the next shows. So I'm going to try to get the same ones, and it's right at the entrance. It's the first tables you come into. So
wow,
they're usually pretty good tables.
How'd you get that prime spot?
I don't know. The guy must have sold it off to somebody who just like didn't want to do it or something, but it's the best tables in the house.
I've seen, so one of the last big shows I went to, I saw they had the graders there, like either a Beckett might be there or some other grading company or something might be there on site taking stuff. Was there a graders there? Yep.
So it was there, of course, and we were afraid to ask. I mean, there was a line of people that were getting cards done because you can turn them in and then not need to get them overnight. They did do overnight grading, and we thought, man, these prices are going to be insane just to turn it in. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And so it was only $20 a card to get it submitted there, and so it really wasn't that bad. So the line stayed pretty long. JSA was there. They had something like 30 people doing autographs. They were all mostly Kansas City Royals, but every 2 hours was 1 or 2 new signers up there all weekend. So starting Friday, it was just a constant assembly line, and the lines were hours long. So yeah, it was crazy. And then they can bring it over to JSA or whoever, there was also forensics was there. So they all had their side of the house place. It was like 2 football field size area that they were doing all this in.
That's amazing.
You couldn't even get to the restroom. The lines were all over the place to get to these signers and autograph, all these sport heroes and stuff. So it was cool.
Yeah, that's kind of a beast of a show to have sports and non-sports there. Because I find the audience can sometimes be pretty different. I mean, there's some crossover, but for the most part, they're almost 2 different worlds. Mm-hmm. Especially for Pokemon, Anyways, that's a whole nother ballgame. But so this has been great, JP, and we look forward to getting the results. Hopefully we'll get Luke back and have him share with us some of the other updates on some of the interesting sales that are upcoming. There are some interesting auctions going on for some high-profile cards as we are recording this, so looking forward to seeing how those play out. Much like how that tournament foil went for over $5,000.
Yeah,
that was a real eye-opener.
huge sell.
Just really how not often that card comes up for sale and how much people have kind of held on to those. It's really interesting.
Yep.
Well, thank you, JP.
Thank you, Kyle.
All right.